Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'd like to share something really exciting with you, something that I worked on for the last few months and it's finally here. For the last few months, I've been working hard on creating some presets for you guys. I created 3 packs for you: Bali, Cape Town and Fashion Luxe. Bali is all about that tropical feel, about the lush greenery, about the turquoise water. Cape Town is all about the beautiful sun. It's much more golden. It's more about the crisp blue skies because that's what Cape Town is all about. And then my fashion pack is all about working in different situations and different lighting throughout the whole year. I have settings that are going to complement more of a wintry or autumny kind of tone, and then I have the kind of full summer look in there as well. So they all kind of work with different kind of images, but obviously you can experiment around and see what works for what. I think one thing that bugged me about presets originally was the fact that it's very hard to pinpoint the exact lighting and setups that you are using in your presets. So when you apply it on the photo, it might not necessarily look the way you want. But once I started playing around with it, I did understand that not every image is going to suit every preset perfectly. And that's why you have a bunch of them to play around with. That's why you can use different ones for different photos. As I said, every photo is different and every photo will look different with the presets on. So it's very important to kind of realize that and be open to playing around with different settings. So now I'm going to show you how to install and use the presets. I'm going to import them to Lightroom and I'm going to work on a few of my images and see how they turn out. So once you're in Lightroom, you go into Develop and you look at your preset folders. You right click on any one of them, you create a new folder, you can name it whatever you want. I'm going to call it Anita Sadowska Bali, and I'm going to create that, and I'm going to then import my Bali presets. So this is my Bali preset here. I'm just going to select all the 6 presets here and I'm just going to import them, and just like that I have all my 6 colors. I'm going to do it now for the remaining 2 folders and I'll be back in a second. Okay, I have those 3 sets imported so you can have a look at what they look like. So originally I used the Canggu preset on this photo because I find like the whites look really nice with that slightly greenish tone. Now I'm going to go over to this image here. As you see, it's quite flat. There isn't a lot of highlights. It's just a simple image. I originally wanted to use this one on it. It is quite nice. I feel like I need to adjust certain things. I need to apply a tiny bit more exposure onto it because I feel like it's a bit too dark. I also feel like it might be a bit too gray, so I might just change it up a tiny bit here, as I feel I need this kind of contrast. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So as you see here, I'm much happier with the image than the original setting that we had for Semignac, which was this. So it's just about small little tweaks that you can do to the images to make them look better. So once you have the base of the filter, you can play around with the colors a bit more, and you can see in that little window here the kind of previous. So this is my Cape Town pack here. I really like those colors on direct sunlight images. I think they're really nice. And then we have my Fashion Luxe images here as well. So as you see, there's a nice variety of colors. They don't necessarily work on this particular image. As I said, I think this one in particular works very well with Semignac. But that's why you have all those different presets, and that's why you kind of play around with them and kind of see what works. Now we jump over to Cape Town. This is one of my Cape Town images that I edited on my presets. Originally, I edited it on this one. It was Maiden's Cove, but I also love the look of Camp's Bay. It's a bit darker, so we might have to go up a tiny bit and maybe adjust the exposure a tiny bit and maybe bring down the highlights a bit, and maybe make it a bit more washed out by just bringing this up a tiny bit. Now we can move on to maybe Clifton 2. It's quite nice as well. I feel like it needs a bit more highlights though, so maybe just a tiny bit of a highlight here. Okay, now I'm going to move into the last section, which is Fashion Luxe, and I'm going to take some of the images that I used originally as a before and after. So for this one I used High Summer, and as you see, you're getting this golden rich skin tones, those beautiful clear skies. I think it's such a nice look. And then if we apply it into this image, you can have a look as well. If we go back into this image here, I have all the different ones. So I think it's important to grab a group of images that you feel like you like and you want to play around with, and just import them into Lightroom and just play around with them, see which setups work best for it. As you see here, there's no doubt about this being U-boot filter. I think it looks perfect. But you can get a bit more of a moody feel if you want to maybe go for Semignac and maybe just brighten it a tiny bit. So that looks quite nice. And then maybe just bring the blacks down a tiny bit. So as I said, it's all about just finding out your way to work with the images, adjusting, you know, little things, having a look kind of at what works best. You know, it's not a one size fit all. A lot of those filters are really good at, you know, kind of making images look better. There still needs to be your touch to the images. So a lot of you have been asking me, do the presets work on JPEGs as well as RAWs? And yes, they do. I'm going to show it to you now. I'm going to apply the Sanctuary presets onto a RAW, a TIFF and a JPEG. So as you see, there are slight differences between the JPEG and the RAW. The JPEG is always going to be a bit less saturated and a bit more duller because you don't have as much color information as you would have in RAW. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to adjust a few simple settings, and it's going to make it look exactly like the CR2. I'm going to start with adjusting some contrast. I'm going to go up to around 30, so plus 30, and then I'm going to go down to the color settings, and I'm going to work on my oranges because that's the skin tones, and I want them to be a bit more saturated and looking a bit more kind of vivid. So I'm going to put up the saturation by about 10. I'm going to bring this the hue a bit closer to a yellow tone rather than the oranges that I've had originally in the preset, and I'm going to put the luminance down just a tiny bit, just to kind of brighten the image a tiny bit. And as you see here, it looks exactly the same as the original now, so it's just a matter of adjusting a few simple things to kind of make it look as vivid. So if you are kind of thinking about getting the presets and you have JPEGs, I wouldn't worry about it. They will still work perfectly fine. It's just a matter of tweaking a few things to get that perfect look. Guys, I'd like to say a big thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting me, my work and what I do here on YouTube, and buying my presets. And to express my gratitude, I would like to give you 10% discount on all my presets. And to get that, you just need to go onto my website and type in YouTube 10 at the checkout, and you are going to get 10% off your first purchase. So thanks again for supporting me. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this little segment. I hope you enjoyed me getting into a bit more detail what presets are and how to use them. If you did buy them, please tag me in your photos. I would love to see it. You can follow me on Instagram at sadowskaphoto, or you can use a hashtag sadowskaphotopresets, and I'm going to have a look at them and repost some of my favorites. So I hope you have fun, get creative with them, and I can't wait to see the results.